Pod Apostle. Help us build the kingdom. Like, share, and subscribe.
So what do we know about Mary Magdalene? First, we're celebrating the feast day of Mary Magdalene today, obviously. I hope you figured that out at this point in the Mass. So what do we know about her? We really don't know as much as you might think you know about her, okay? Because there's been a lot of speculation about her over the centuries, and she has been identified as one of the women who washed Jesus' feet with her hair, and we don't know if that's true. She was identified as a prostitute, and we don't know if that's true. What we do know about her is that she had 7 demons, and they were cast out of her. Now, what was the nature of her 7 demons? We don't know. What we know is that she was oppressed by evil. She undoubtedly had lived a difficult life in a variety of different ways, but in her encounter with Jesus, she was freed from those demons. And what else we know about her is that after that, she was a loyal follower of Jesus, that she followed, and very likely she's lumped in with the women who provided for Jesus and the apostles out of their own resources. What else do we know about her? We know that she was present at the crucifixion. That she was there. She saw Jesus murdered. And very likely, based on the story that I just read, she probably would have stayed to the bitter end. Because in the gospel that I just proclaimed a moment ago, after Peter and John had gone back, Mary stayed there at the tomb, looking for Jesus. So she probably would have been there at the foot of the cross all the way to where when he was taken down and put in the tomb. It's probably, maybe, now I'm speculating, but we know that she was there. She got up early in the morning to go look for Jesus. And that seeking was rewarded. And we, in Christian tradition and Catholic tradition, we call her the apostles to the apostles, because she was sent to the apostles to announce that she had seen Jesus. It's interesting, a couple of things. Obviously, Mary Magdalene has this incredible affection for Jesus, and a tremendous heartbreak in his death and his absence. And when she discovers that he's alive, isn't it interesting that she doesn't recognize him? And I thought, surely he should be glowing or something, right? But obviously very ordinary. Thought he was the gardener. And that gave me some pause this morning. So here is Jesus standing next to her, and she doesn't have a clue. And this is, I hope you've heard this before. It wasn't until he spoke her name, until he addressed her personally, that she recognized him. And Jesus speaks to us. We can read the Gospels as written to an anonymous audience. We need to read the Gospels as if they were written to us. Jesus speaks to us individually. We know the risen Christ when he speaks to us. Now, the other thing to highlight about Mary in this gospel this morning, something that someone helped me see, is the role of perseverance in her, which I've already mentioned a couple of times. And she persevered, and she persevered, and she stayed, and she waited. And in that staying, and that waiting, and that loyalty, and that clinging to, I'm sure, woman, why are you weeping? Why was she weeping? They have taken my Lord. So there in her heartbreak and her waiting, she perseveres and she waits and she stays, and then she's rewarded. She's rewarded. And then stop holding on to me. You gotta let me go. And when Jesus tells us, he says, I have to ascend to the Father, otherwise I'm not sending the Spirit. And so the Spirit comes to dwell in us. So beautiful stories about Mary Magdalene. A lot of speculation about her. She's got a bad reputation after 2,000 years that she doesn't deserve. But so you think about that for a minute. Think about that too. That's another kind of element of Mary being misunderstood, and how easily that can happen to anybody. But today, Mary Magdalene, pray for us, right? Pray for us that we persevere. Pray for us when we're misunderstood. Pray for us when we don't recognize Jesus in our midst. Pray for us.